Hey everybody, this is David Wolf with our Paramotor Nation. Welcome to tonight's pre-show. Hope you're having a fun time chatting with other paramotor enthusiasts watching with you right now. Hey, I just want to take a quick second and just thank everybody who supports the show, whether you're a sponsor, whether you're a Patreon, whether you're doing a super chat during the show. And some people have asked me how to become a Patreon and how to do super chat, so I wanted to just talk about that very briefly. All you need to do is click on the little button down here at the bottom right of the screen. You can go ahead and pick out any dollar amount you want to donate to the show and leave a comment as well. I'll read it on the show for you. If you'd like to become a Patreon, you can go onto the website, ourparamotornation.com, and there's information to fill out there. All right, we're just going to start the show here in a few moments. So I talked about the sponsors. Let's hear about them right now.
Welcome to Our Paramotor Nation. Tonight's show is sponsored by PPG, offering a full-service paramotor training experience with 3 on-site instructors and limited class sizes. Florida Flight Sports, year-round training at your truck training headquarters. You can do this. PPG lights make one heck of an impression with countless patterns and colors on your paramotor. Lone Star Paramotor has become one of the most sought-out paramotor schools, offering foot launching and trike training classes and much more. PPG Zone, one stop for everything you want to know about the paramotor scene, where fly-ins are happening, and so much more. Aviator Paramotor is a cornerstone for paramotor training while offering its students some of the top paramotor equipment. Fly PPG Discovered Power Paragliding has helped people from around the world get into our great sport. Wisconsin Flight Sports, they make it affordable and accessible for you to get your paramotor training. Charlie Soap, an all-natural laundry detergent and household cleaner, are like no other. One Up Adventures and ParamotorProps.com, sharing their passion for flight on adventures around the world. Skylab Paramotor SID, teaching paramotor pilots of all skill levels collapse recovery and advanced maneuvers. True North Paramotors are American-made, lightweight, cutting-edge, fully customizable paramotor frames, complete units, wings, and accessories. Check out their website today. Blackhawk Paramotors USA's mission is to produce the safest, most powerful, and most reliable powered paragliding equipment in the world. Paraswag USA, your complete powered paragliding gear source. iFly Indiana provides USPPA certified powered paragliding training on your equipment or on theirs for prices as low as $2,500. Wicked Wings logo can help you have a one-of-a-kind glider with one or multiple colors. Visit the Our Paramotor Nation website. Check out the upcoming shows, the past shows, and all of its sponsors. And now, let's get started with this episode of Our Paramotor Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our Paramotor Nation. I hope everybody had an incredible week. We got John Hudson is going to be on from True North Paramotors. A couple quick things here. We're going to try something a little different with the wheel. I hope this looks decent. Let's see here. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit off, but we're going to try this with the wheel tonight, something different. Where so you can see we got the wheel, got a couple names in there already. My daughter's going to be joining us here in a little bit to get the rest of the names in there. And as you can see on the side there, you've got a bunch of prizes listed out. And so here's how we're going to do this until we get rid of these prizes. Whoever wins, you can choose what prize you want from the wheel. So that'll be coming up at the end of the show. That'll be fun. Another thing that's very fun about the show is my co-host, Johnny Gasparripa. What's up, Johnny?
Hello, hello. What's going on, everybody?
Oh my gosh, dude. How are you today?
I'll tell you what, it's been a crazy weekend. I'm down here in South Florida helping my niece out with some home projects, and it's been nonstop. Didn't get any flying in, but I'll tell you what, when I get back home tomorrow, I'll be looking to get a couple flights in.
Very cool. John, we've got an interesting couple of weeks coming up. I want to talk about that for a second with you. 4th of July is next Sunday. I think you'd be a loser to watch a YouTube show, or even bigger a bigger loser to host a YouTube show. So, Johnny, if it's okay with you, can we take the week off next Sunday?
Sure.
All right.
That'll be fantastic,
Well,
David.
You're the boss, so we're going to take off next Sunday. The week after that is the 11th. And the 11th, I'm going to be traveling back from Chicago. But we're still going to do a show.
Yes.
So I thought, and John and I had talked about, so what I think we're going to do is we're going to have an open mic night. We're going to have a couple things. I know we were on Robert's show a couple Thursdays ago. We talked about having an episode where we talked about what apps are you doing. And maybe we can see if Robert's available and he can come on and join us for that. Maybe get a couple other people. Just have an open night. What do you think of that, man?
You know, that'll be one of the first times that I can remember we're doing an open mic. It should
No.
be pretty good.
Yeah, it's always guests.
Yeah.
The 18th, You're going to come up with a guest. You've got someone in mind you're talking to. You just, I mean, really, the guy's almost booked. All you got to do is call him and see if he can do the show. So, I mean, it's a small slip like that, but that's how we get guests, right? Okay, yeah. All right. And July 25th, I just booked a guest moments before we started the show. John, I didn't even tell you this. You ready for this?
No, you did not, but I'm excited to hear it.
How about Trevor Steele?
Yes.
All right.
The controversial Trevor Steele.
Well, maybe, I don't know if he's controversial or if other people are controversial.
You know, the kid's not a bad kid. He seems to take the abuse of the flat top and the Dominator pretty well. I think it'll be good to have him on. Let's hear what he has to say.
I'm willing to give anybody a chance. For God's sake, I've given you like 5 or 6. So
that's true. That's true.
Very true.
But, you know, if you think about it, who's the only one that's still here? You pretty much chased everyone else away.
Touche. You know who we haven't chased away as tonight's guest? That is John Hudson. What's up, John?
Hello,
Hudson?
John.
Hey, guys. Dave, John, thanks so much for having me on tonight.
You see the abuse I take, man?
Yeah.
John, let's start off with John is True North Paramotor, okay?
Yeah.
John, you know, if you're a YouTube watcher like I am, you get to see people like Kyle O'Glee with videos, and John was featured on a 28-minute, holy cow, I actually sat through all of it, 28-minute video of Kyle O'Glee talking about True North Paramotor. We interrupt the show for just a second. I want to say thank you to Geriatric PPG with a $10 donation in the super chat. Thank you so much for that, Geriatric PPG. And 50% of the proceeds will be going right back to Resurgence PPG. So thank you so much for that. I apologize for that. But John, so this was an amazing little video with Kyle O'Glee talking about True North Paramotor, which we had already booked this show before I even knew that video was coming out today. You see how some people, you know, ride other people's coattails. Just kidding, Kyle. So there's
Excuse me.
Careful, John. Careful. So we're going to talk about True North Paramotor, but you have an announcement about True North Paramotor involving this show, don't you?
Yes, I'm going to be a Patreon sponsor of the show. Just signed up last week for that. So really looking forward to being a sponsor, getting the name out, and helping you guys out as well, too. So
awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And True North, if you did catch it, hopefully you did catch it, True North was in the opening sponsors there tonight. So very, very cool. Thank you so much for that. Let's start off with who you are, how you started flying, because you have so much experience in flying. Yeah. So why don't you talk about a little bit about your background first. Later in the show, we're going to talk about True North, the school, and the paramotors themselves, and that you're building them here in the United States. But actually, I do want to ask you one question.
Sure.
True North Paramotor is in Louisiana.
Right.
One of the most southern states in the country.
It's True North is not really about a geographical location. It's more about a heading, more about your drive in life, man. Like paramotoring, paragliding is my true north, my direction, man, my passion, so that's really what it's about. It's more about a heading than a geographical location than that. So, yeah.
All right. Very, very good. All right. Let's talk about your background. How did you start flying paragliding first and then eventually move over to paramotoring?
Okay. I started flying paragliders in early 2001. I lived in Colorado for 12 years. And, man, I'd first seen paragliding around 1996 on the Discovery Channel. These guys were flying, paragliders across a dune in southern France. And, man, when I was a little kid, just down the street from where I grew up, there's a big hill at a high school. And I remember they used to have hang gliders. They teach hang gliding lessons there in the late 70s. And I would always make my parents every Sunday take me down there and watch. And from the time I was 5 years old, I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then when I first saw paragliding around 96, I was like, oh my God, it's a parachute, but you can actually fly on it. And I knew I had to do it. And around 2001, I finally had enough money saved up and found a guy in Colorado, a guy named Bill Lawrence, became my instructor. And within a few months, I had my PPG 2 rating. And then after September 11th, that happened. And I really reflected a lot, like what I want to do with my life. And man, flying was the number one priority for me at that point. And so all my vacations after that, everything I pretty much did, centered around flying. I started my own business at that time where I didn't have to work much during the summer, so I could go fly all the time. And then my travels from there began within the first year and a half or so. I think I went to Hawaii, I went to Alaska, and just flew a lot around the Front Range of Colorado for those first several years. Lookout Mountain there was my home site. Did a lot of traveling out to Utah, California, flying like the dumps and Sand City and all those places.
Wow.
And man, met a lot of great people during that time. And then in 2006, I got an opportunity to move to Southeast Asia. And I moved over there for 7 years. And it was amazing, the flying opportunities from there. Where I was living in the Philippines, you could take like $150 ticket to Hong Kong. Did a lot of flying in Hong Kong, man, just some amazing sites there. Indonesia, Western Sumatra, flew there a couple times. Thailand, you name it, really, all over Southeast Asia. And my love for paragliding just grew and grew. And, it's something that, to this day, I still get just as excited to go out and fly, whether there's paramotors and paragliders. Since I've been flying paramotors, I've only flown paragliders a handful of times, honestly. So paragliding was definitely the, what kind of led me into paramotors in a way. And I remember around 2003, 2004, several of my buddies in Colorado were like, oh, we're going to buy paramotors, man, and we're going to fly all the time. Then about a year later, I was like, man, what happened to those paramotors that you guys bought? Well, back then, they were all these big, heavy, like Walker jets.
Fresh
and
breeze.
these, with fixed J bars. And I asked my two buddies, they're like, we're trying to sell those things. Like, why? Well, one guy already had back surgery. Another guy had blown out his knee. So they're like, well, these things weigh like 75, 80 pounds with fuel. And they're constantly pulling you, to the right or to the left, depending on which engine it was, of course. And, the torque effect was so unmanageable. So at that time, that kind of, I don't want to fly paramotors. And I looked after Southeast Asia, largest hurricane in the history of Earth, hit over there. And so around 2013, it was time to move back to Louisiana. And I moved back here. And summer of 2013, I went out to California and got my US HPA instructor's rating. I spent a month out there. Got my basic paragliding instructor's rating. Yeah, Dave.
Okay, a couple questions I already have.
Sure.
You're going through so much so fast.
Holy cow.
What was taking you all over the place? What was it? Work? Whatever job you were doing at that time?
No, I met a guy who was Bruce Lee's third student in America. I took a log home building class from this guy named Skip Ellsworth around 2004. And me and him became good friends, man. He's like, I like the way you think, dude. I like your mind. And he was living back and forth between Seattle and the Philippines. And he just built a beach resort over there and was like, man, why don't you come over here and visit me? And yes, I went over and visited him. And about the third day we're there, we're riding around on motorcycles. And he's like, man, you see this house there? He's like, yeah, it's a pretty nice house, like a block from the beach this way, half a mile from it this way. A buddy of mine's got it for rent. It's $75 a month. So I was pretty amazed by that. I was living right outside of Boulder, Colorado at the time. And I think it was, I was paying about $3,500 a month just to, keep my head above the water. So, so it didn't take me long to decide, man, this guy's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of things I would love to learn. And so I ended up moving over there and, started a business. Next thing I know, within a year or two, I became a hog farmer over there and had, within 3 years, had 100 sow level hog farm of all things.
Hawk?
And
Well,
pig farm.
oh, hog. I thought you said hawk. I'm like, a hawk.
Hog farm. Yeah, I was farming raptors.
Hog farm.
No, a hog farm. And it was really successful. That was really good. And still did a lot of paragliding while I was over there and made a lot of trips.
Wow.
And so that's kind of what took me over there. And just, I was 32, 33 and, pretty much retired almost at that time, So that was not. And
Crazy.
Mother Nature had other plans. So
Kids, don't work hard, work smart. That's the moral of
yes,
the story.
really.
You too can be retired by 40 and then living your dreams building paramotors, which we will get to. All right, continue. I sorry to interrupt. I'm going to ask you a quick question because couple quick questions, and I know this is kind of interrupting your flow, so we're going to get back to that. But Bill H wanted to know, are you going to be at a fly-in July 3rd through 5th?
Yes.
Which fly-in are you going to be at?
Well, I don't think it's officially a fly-in, but I know there's a bunch of pilots gathering up in Tallahassee, Oklahoma. Region 6 Buffalo Mountain Flyers. I don't think they officially had a fly-in this year, on the books because of COVID and everything, but I do know there will be a bunch of people gathering up there next weekend, and we've got a cabin booked, so we're definitely heading up there next Friday.
Awesome.
So.
By the way,
Yeah.
on the screen right now for everybody, Craig Taylor posted up there the American-made Paramotors website, so you can go to that later on. You can also go to the Our Paramotor Nation website, just like all the sponsors. That website is linked there as well. Another question from a real American hero, Kelby Cox says, has he flown Eagle River, Arkansas?
Eagle River? No. Eagle River, Alaska.
Oh, you know what? That would be Alaska, AK.
Yeah. I forget Hatcher Pass. Yeah, I've flown in Hatcher Pass.
I wasn't too good with geography. Okay, go ahead.
I've flown at Hatcher's Pass up there, and I think that is technically Eagle River, right outside of Wasilla and all around there. So yeah.
How was that flying for you?
Fantastic. I was up there with a big group of pilots. We had Carrie Castle, who was the former world women's paragliding champion, and Chris Santacroce.
Oh wow.
Was up there. I went up to Alaska 3 years, and Chris was up there every year with us. And I took a bunch of SIV clinics back from him around 2003 to 2005. So fantastic flying back in the day. It was just such great camaraderie amongst all the pilots and just everybody. It was a wonderful time for sure.
What's been with all these travels? What has been some of the most memorable flights for you or places you've flown?
In Colorado would probably have been around 2005. We had about 2 years where we had the opportunity to fly at Copper Mountain Ski Resort, and in the summertime, so we could drive all the way to the top of the mountain, which is just under, I think, 13,050 feet, if I'm not mistaken. And I had a couple decent flights off of there, but then one day I was up there on top of the mountain, and there were 4 of us up there. And there was a group of ravens, man. All these ravens were flying by, and they just suddenly got pulled up into this big thermal. And me and these 3 guys, we looked at each other. You guys ready? Yeah, let's do this. And we all had our wings laid out, so we all launched one after the other and followed the path of those ravens, and literally got in this thermal. And I mean, this was the most, I don't know how, it was probably 17. I didn't even look at my vario, man. It was so intense. It's probably 1,700 to 1,800 foot per minute up thermals.
What?
My wing is here, my wing is here, and just circling. And the next thing I know, I looked down, and I was 4 minutes later at 17,500 feet. And, over 4,000 feet over the top of Copper, and you could see Mount Elbert and all those, every mountain in the state of Colorado, and into New Mexico, you could see. It was such a clear day. And we ended up flying over to Breckenridge, crossing the 10-mile range. And a lot of those guys landed in a field in Breckenridge. I ended up flying back to Copper. And that was just a memorable, exhilarating, man, almost like a spiritual experience, man. It was paragliding, really. One of my most memorable flights for sure. And also probably flying between Golden to Lookout Mountain over to Golden, Colorado. Lookout Mountain over to Boulder, and hitting some severe turbulence around Clear Creek. Cold Creek Canyon in that area. And man, getting frontals pulled back almost into stalls, the glider almost spinning on me. Just every type, like a full SIV clinic in reality.
Oh,
and that was probably one of the scariest flights. And then, hadn't fully recovered about 300 feet off the deck, and then catching another thermal back up. That was a memorable time for sure. And probably in Asia, Lake Mananjal in Western Sumatra, I went to a fly-in there with a group of people, a lady named Susie and a guy named Anwar. They hosted an event every year there from 2001 till I believe 2010 or 11. And we had a group of about 20 people from all over the world. We had a couple pilots, Nova pilots, and a couple of Gen Team pilots showed up over there. And this place is like a 30-mile circumference. It's like a caldera. It's like the top of a volcano. It used to be years ago. and it's about an 800 to 1,200 foot ridge that entire way. So it's like a perfect bowl, and with a big lake down at the bottom, and you could fly all around that thing, and it was absolutely amazing. And wild monkeys when you'd land all over the place, waterfalls. I mean, just an absolute paradise.
Did they pack up your glider?
Yeah. The monkeys, there are always little kids there and stuff to help pack up your wing for you. You can pay them $1 or 50 cents, whatever. Awesome. And they were happy as could be. So yeah. All right, really great memories on that,
Before we hear about all the paramotors and the school and all that, I want to ask you one more question in regards to story. And this question is going to come from Greg Frederick. And he says, John, tell us your best unplanned landing story.
Unplanned landing. Man, let me think about that.
Do you have an unplanned landing story? Maybe you don't.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
All right.
Honestly, I've landed out in some unusual locations in Indonesia, in rice paddies and stuff like that. That was probably one. Trying to go across country there and get halfway around and literally landing in rice fields. Wow. And being soaked up to my knees. And then the glider got completely soaked, having to dry it out overnight. But that was probably one of the more memorable ones that I can think of right now.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about motors. What do you want to talk about? We got some motors. You got that beauty sitting behind you.
Yeah. What is that thing back there?
This is the Vortex Aero Viper 200. I've got the first one in about 2 months ago, early May. Something like that, about 6-7 weeks ago. And I probably put about 10 to 15 hours on this unit so far and have been absolutely blown away with it as far as the power goes. And it's been the smoothest engine that I've ever flown. The power band, there's absolutely no bobble. It's just a perfectly smooth transition from the bottom all the way to the top. Mm-hmm. I've also been really impressed with the weight of it. I think it's right at 29 and a half pounds. That's with the manual start. And I also have electric starts, and that adds 1 pound. So it's about 30 and a half pounds, if I'm not mistaken, on the electric start. Complete on the True North frame is right at 53.6 pounds. So we've been really impressed with this engine so far. It hasn't been officially released yet. So we don't have any solid spec numbers as far as, it hadn't been put on a thrust table as far as I know or anything like that. And the manufacturer, David, he's kind of told me, hey, we'll have all that information soon. Okay. But I've gotten 5 of these engines in so far. I've got 3 out of the 5 that I've ordered in so far. And it's so far fantastic. The other great thing is the price. The retail on these on my frame is going to be right at $5,700. And I'm going to do the first 2. If anybody's looking for a unit, they're going to be at $5,300. The first 2 out of these 3 engines that I have right now, I'm going to do for $5,300 on there, and complete unit ready to fly with APCO SLT Helix prop. And that's right at 53 and a half pounds with the 12 liter fuel tank on it.
Now, is this the one that we saw Kyle flying?
It is. It is.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any video of that.
Oh, you're so funny. I do. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. So if you didn't see Kyle's video, you should go back and watch Kyle's video that he released today, because it gives you so much insight. We're going to talk about John's little factory. Is it called a little factory? I don't know if it's called a little factory. John's factory, where he makes the paramotors. And Kyle got to see it and showed us around a little bit. And he flew this. So it's kind of funny because in Kyle's video, you see Kyle's perspective as he's landing and talking to John. And this video right here is John's video that he took while Kyle was landing. And so we'll see if we can hear what he says.
I like it, John.
Good, man. Pretty good punch that little motor has, huh?
You're right about the range on North Jim.
Yeah.
So smooth. Zero to hero. There's no bobbles. It's just a smooth power band all the way through. I like that.
All right, so Kylo approved for sure. And one of the things that I like that he talked about was the smoothness. He said when he hit the throttle, you didn't feel like that bump up to the next speed. It was just a smooth, gradual increase in the power band. You want to talk a little bit about that?
That's what everyone that's flown it so far. I took it to Bad Apples and had about four. I believe there's 4 guys that flew it at Bad Apples, and that's been the comment of everyone that's flown this thing so far. Absolutely the smoothest power band of any engine out there. And David, the guy at Vortex Aero that manufactures these, he spent about 6 years developing, this engine, and it certainly is shown. And man, a lot of it's interchangeable with the Moster. It's got the Vortex Aero exhaust, which was used as a replacement. A lot of people bought those when the earlier Mosters had some exhaust issues like the MY18s and 19s. So the exhaust system's really proven on there. Man, so far we're just really impressed. It has a carbon fiber air box. I don't know if you can see this, but it has engine bracket. The mounting plate is anodized green, similar to other, much higher priced engines out there, I'd say.
Okay.
So it's really spared no expense on that, yet. These engines are going to retail for just under $2,000,
Wow.
So, and they right now, the first generation of these are non-clutched, but clutched version should be in the works. I'll have to talk to him. I don't want to say, when or give anything like that, but it is in the works.
Okay. So there is a question here I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
And then we can look at some pictures because John's given me a bunch of pictures, and we'll go through those and see things a little bit closer too, and he'll talk to those pictures. Mark H. And I know fuel burn's kind of tough to talk about because a lot of factors, body weight, pilot weight, all that. But he wants to know as far as what's the fuel burn. What can you talk about the fuel burn that you know so far?
I don't have any specs from the factory, but what I've noticed is right about 4.5 liters per hour, 4.5 to 5, somewhere in that range, in my experience. So I don't want to, say that's gospel, but that's been my experience. I took it 2 weeks ago. I took it for a 1 hour and 10-minute flight one night, and then an hour and 9-minute flight the next night, and those were right at the numbers that I was seeing. I put about 6 liters in. And both nights, and when I landed, I had over 1 liter left each time. So somewhere between 4.5 and 5 per hour is what we're seeing on that.
Okay, not to get personal, but just so people get an idea as far as what's your body weight.
I'm right now about 180 pounds.
Okay.
Come on, John.
Yeah.
Come on.
What are you saying, Ripa? You don't believe him, Ripa? I'm
just kidding. Question, John. Do you offer that frame in a 150 centimeter cage?
I do not. It is 55.5 inches right now, which is right at just above 140 centimeters. So
150
that could be
is 59 inches. So
yeah, exactly. So the one
big cage.
159. Yep. So right now it's a 55.5 inch diameter hoop, but certainly that's something we could do in the future as well too. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to extend that out and roll some bigger hoops. But I do all the work in the shop myself, so certainly could do that.
So one of the questions I have for you, just watching Kyle's video earlier today, this is a totally customizable paramotor, right? What are some of the things that people might want to say, I want this changed or I want that changed?
The legs, we could offer legs in any any style. If you want them powder coated, you want them anodized, we can do that as well. The front and the back plates, I can have those powder coated from anything Prismatic Powders offers, which is I think 6,000 different color varieties. Or I've got a great anodizing shop down in Houston, and they do some really good work so far. That one you just saw, that's like a gold, anodizing gold. And let's see here, I've also got one, hang on just a second. An orange as well too, like a kind of like Vitarazi orange, I would say, is basically what that's modeled after as well too, and anodized. So the legs and the front and the back plates, we can do fully customizable. However you want them, team colors, do you want them, whatever you want. In Kyle's video also, it shows one of the powder coat options I have is one called City Lights. And it's like a color changing prismatic, powder. It's the coolest thing. In different lights, it changes different colors. So
that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I think that whole everything you're saying really could be a hoax, just because there's a question in the chat here, and this comes from Kyle O'Glee. He says, "What do I have to do to get a test flight on that thing?" I'm so confused right now. What's up, Kyle O'Glee is in the chat as well. So there you go.
Hey, guys.
One of the things too that I was interested in is you had talked about the swing arms and that they were one solid piece. In fact, Kyle's thumbnail was of the swing arm before it was, it was.
Boom.
So there it is.
Here's the swing arms. Yeah, they are milled from one solid piece of 1.25 inch, 70-75 aluminum. So as you can see, it goes down to I believe 3/16 thickness there. So we have a lot of aluminum that goes to waste. But I figured, why not? We've got well over 300, almost $400 tied up in each set of swing arms just to mill and the full process on these. So some companies will do just a here and then it's a bolt-on piece. I figured, why not make it one complete solid unit? And I've had guys take these up and do sats, barrel rolls into sats and all that kind of stuff. Take it through the full acro run. Where I've seen, we had one guy who bent a set of swing arms and then took this one up and did almost the exact same run, and they did not bend whatsoever. So they're really solid. The other great thing I love about the swing arms is easily removable. It's got a military grade. Literally, this is what the Air Force uses, Resurgence removable pins on all their aircraft. So you take that out, and off it goes to the bushing that the arm rotates around. Most swing arm, most folks use either, I've seen a 6mm bolt to hold the swing arms on, and 8mm bolts is about the biggest I've seen. I said, why not use a 10mm bolt? Because one thing I hate, can't stand is when you have swing arms and they flex a lot. They'll get a lot of play in them side to side, and that's all at the expense of the bolt thickness, what size you're using. So we just decided to use a 10mm, an M10 bolt. And these things, when they're on there, they are firm. I mean, they up and down perfectly, but they don't really flex side to side.
Yeah, they look beefy.
Yeah, which, to me, if that's what your life is hanging on, literally, I want that to be, nice and solid and beefy. The other thing we've done is, and I don't know that anybody else in the industry is doing this. Instead of just using a nylon lock nut, we have used a castle nut in there.
With a cotter pin.
Yeah, castle nut and a cotter pin. It's red Loctite on, and then you've got a cotter pin and that castle nut, which with a 10mm bolt, dude, that thing it's bomb proof, really. So there's no way, it would take an act of God to really to get that thing to come out. So that's definitely my proudest accomplishment with these units is the swing arms in that system and the easily removable access to be able to take these things off. I was driving back from Bad Apples, and I got outside of Jackson, Mississippi, and I saw it was about the sky was about to pour, and I have a Viking PPG rack on the back of my truck that I carry my paramotors on. So, I was like, I got to get this harness off of here quick. Well, with this system, all I got to do is just pull both these arms, pull the pins out, the arms come off, snap, all 4 snaps of the harness. It's off in less than a minute. Threw it in the back of my truck. Hey, the paramotor, the engine got wet on the way a little bit, but the harness, and it's not going to get UV faded or whatever from road trips, dust, or none of that kind of stuff on there. Also for guys that, like to put the unit on the back of their truck right against on the bed of the truck, no problem. The swing arms aren't in the way. You can pop those right off and literally, ratchet it down really tight against the back of the truck. So, another great advantage of these units.
So I want to ask a kind of a newbie question here, because my
Sure.
paramotors with the swing arm, you can make them longer, you can make them shorter by putting in a couple other screws in there. And
Right.
my understanding, it's been because that's to adjust for body weight, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So with yours, you can't make that adjustment. So if you don't need all that, you're just kind of stuck with an extra long swing arm. Is that okay?
Well, you can adjust, for your weight, just moving forwards or backwards here. The lighter you are, you move back further. And, the heavier you are, you move forward to adjust, your position and everything as well, too. So it's proven absolutely fine. perfect for everybody. I've had guys as light as 145, 150 pounds up to 240, 250 pounds on these without any problems.
Perfect. By the way, my daughter just sat down next to me, and she is now putting names in the wheels. So if you haven't made a comment in a little while, go ahead and make a comment. Say hello. Tell John how great he is, whatever you want to do. Tell Ripman you love him. And Addison is sitting next to me. She's going to go ahead and put your name in the wheel. We'll go ahead and spin that for that prize at the end of the show. And John, did you say you had a prize you wanted to give away as well?
Yeah, I have a True North Paramotors t-shirt, size large.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'll happily send it out to whoever wants it, whoever gets it. So,
oh my gosh, very cool. No, I was just reading Kyle Oakley flew my old Pegasus 2 last night. Wow, I had that for like one flight. Cool. Let's go through those pictures. You want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we'll start with the first picture that you and I talked about. Now Sean Nasker is saying that my microphone's a bit quiet, so I'm gonna turn up the gain a tiny bit more. I hope that's good.
It sounds good to me,
Tell
David.
me if that's too loud. All right. So let's start with the first picture there. Go ahead, John. It's on the screen.
Oh, I can't see it.
You won't be able to see it. That's why we went through that last night.
Oh yeah. The first one, that is that's the unit. I don't have that list in front of me, Dave. I'll be honest with
gosh.
you. So I dropped the ball on that one.
Wow.
But the first,
all right.
yeah.
So what I'm looking at is the paramotor here. It's got the gray backing. It's standing straight up, and then the second picture is the same one, and it's just to the side.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
The next one is the next picture I'm now showing is a little more close up on the motor itself. You can see the green in there that you were discussing before. You want to say anything about it? Not really.
Which one was that?
This is the one. It's a little bit more close up, straight onto the back of the motor.
Okay, yeah, it's got the engine just showing the Viper 200.
That's correct. That's it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's the showing the carbon airbox, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the nicest features of these. I mean, he's absolutely spared no expense making that carbon airbox on those. So we're really, really happy to have that, and it's proven to be great so far.
So what I'll do is I'll zoom in, I'll show the picture, and then I'll go back to you so you can show on the motor behind you what we're looking at. That'll work out better. All right, now this, I don't know if you can do this. So now we're looking at a front view. We've got the harness on there. So that's a good opportunity actually to talk about what type of harnesses you're putting on the Paramotor.
APCO SLT or Dudek power seat comforts are the standard. With the SLT, you're going to save almost 2 pounds of weight. It's going to shed about almost just under 2 pounds of weight off the unit. But the Dudek's going to, be about just under 2 pounds heavier with that. So, some people prefer the Dudek, some people prefer the APCO. So, yeah, both have proven to be great and very comfortable and perfect on this unit.
Very cool. All right, now we're looking at a very sleek, slender frame here. What do you want to say about this? This is just the frame and the swing arms, no motor, no harness, nothing.
Yeah, the frame itself with the fuel tank, the swing arms, and just ready without the engine on it and the harness, and the prop weighs 14.5 pounds. We're really, really proud of that, and that number is proven great. We will have titanium. I'm working on titanium hoops and spars and a snap-on netting system right now. So we're hoping that'll shed 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds, according to our calculations, off of that weight. So that's in the works right now. I've got a nice stack of titanium tubing sitting around. It's just a matter of getting that done here in the next. We've got snap connectors for it. We're going to do a weld-free design on that. So that should be in the next 2 to 3 months will be released.
John Ripa, you fly a lot of paramotors, sir. What do you think of what you're hearing so far?
No, it's something I definitely like to slip on and give it a try. I'm excited to feel that frame out and then also see how the power on that motor is.
Yeah.
Nice. Love for you to try one.
Definitely. All right, let's take a look at this next picture. So this is a picture of just the Viper here. It's sitting on the table.
Okay.
It's a very
The Viper is absolutely, man. Anybody wants to try one, you're more than welcome to come down to Louisiana. Oh, and should we announce the fly-in here as well, too?
Yeah, why don't you do that? And not only that, and any other fly-ins that you're planning on being at.
There'll be 300 people there, John, if you do it. Be careful.
Okay, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, we're going to have a fly-in here in Shreveport at my home field that I teach out of, Naylor Airport in South Shreveport. We're planning for October 9th and 10th. Should be a great event. We're going to limit it this time to about 50 pilots. So I'll have the information up on PPG Zone here within the next week to 10 days, something like that. Once I dial everything in with the landowner, he said that's okay. The dates are okay for that so far, but I'll get everything dialed in. But we're planning October 9th and 10th. People could probably arrive as early as that Friday late afternoon. We don't have electricity as far as shoreline power goes out there, but there is a shower. And there's nearby restaurants or hotels within 10 minutes of the location. It's absolutely the best spot to fly in North Louisiana for sure, as far as just being wide open and plenty of cross country opportunities. Man, you could fly literally from here all the way down to South Louisiana and go between cotton fields to corn fields to rice farms to crawfish farms all the way down south. So it's a fantastic spot, and we're so lucky. I'm so lucky to have this spot where I train out of as well too. I don't know, Dave, if you have those couple pictures I sent you earlier today of the location.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I dropped the ball on that one.
Touche, both of you guys.
So,
Good.
Wallace Funderbunk, I put this on the screen. He says, "I love my True North Paramotor." So there you go. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, you got to start it off with my name so it highlights it so I can see. And
You mean like at David Wolf?
Yes, John, exactly.
Okay.
If you want, John, you could do an example at David Wolf. I have a question, something like that. It just makes it a whole heck of a lot easier. What did I see there? So it's like I'm trying to catch some people's putting a comment, but again, if it doesn't highlight for me, it's so hard for me to post those up there. So I do apologize if I can't. Oh yes, here it is. Tristan Dione says you can have gumbo for me. LOL.
Sure.
Right,
Well, Kyle's the gumbo master, man, for sure. So maybe if he comes down, and I'm sure he will come down for the fly-in, he can make a good pot of gumbo, man. He is the gumbo. He'll keep it in his freezer for months on end. So
very good. Sean Simons wants you to know that he's wearing his True North Paramotor shirt. Hey, John Hudson.
Hey, thanks, Sean.
Yes,
Glad
so
you're
I think John was on Sean's show back in November of last year. So apparently all the talk show hosts get a T-shirt from John. That'd be great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Question from the chat. There you go, John. Thank you very much. And here's another one here from Hair Smith 101. I love my True North Paramotor. So that's awesome, man. Some great feedback.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Tom.
Very cool.
Fantastic. Glad all you guys are here tonight. And shout out to Kyle as well, too, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for the great video and the review, man. Kyle, I met him about 6 or so years ago. I just became a PPG, a paragliding instructor, and I was about to build an electric paramotor, in my shop. and then I met Kyle, and he just started flying paramotors about 3 or 4 months, maybe 6 months earlier. And I met him, and he kind of like motivated me to go ahead and buy a real paramotor. And so I did, and I went over to his house. We did some hang checks and got everything, went over some reviews, and went out there, brought the wing up. He gave me a big thumbs up and power, and off I went, and my life has not been the same since, man. So shout out to him for sure.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, so you started flying right about the same time as Kyle. Is that what you said?
Yeah, probably
Okay.
six months
Paramotor.
later.
Yeah, Paramotor.
Let's make that clear.
Right. So, John, can you imagine if only back then you would have started a YouTube channel? What could be of you now? All the girls would want you, and all the guys would want to be you.
There you go. Hey, Kyle already had I couldn't believe it, man. When he made his first couple of videos, I was like, dude, you just shot that like 3 days ago. And I didn't realize he already put out quite a few videos already with firearms and stuff, man. He's got mad editing skills and video skills and the content that guy can put out.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be sitting there, struggling with the editing for a couple of weeks while he does it in like a couple of hours, So he's really happy for him, man. And all he's done for the sport.
Oh my
God. In 6-7 years, the dude has become an international ambassador. It's pretty cool. It's
That's
really
right.
cool.
Over 11,000 subscribers on his channel, and you're right, he is an ambassador. I want to finish these pictures because we had a couple others. We had one more review of someone that did a flight at Bad Apples, and then we're going to start talking about training because I know Michael. I'll ask this question right now while I have them up on my screen. Michael Weatherspoon. I think I missed someone's donation too. I need to go back a second. Michael Weatherspoon wants to know what does the training cost? What is the training cost at True North?
Right now, I'm charging $1,900 for a full USPPA certification course. And and we follow the USPPA syllabus, from the start to the end. Typically, I train, I typically train local guys in the area because, it's just easier for me. And I don't really want to say we got 10 days to do this in. So I get a lot of guys that are within an hour, 2 hours of me, and I just work around their schedule and we work together typically. So, and that just kind of works best around here for this area. And I might, eventually start doing, 10-day, 2-week type training. But for right now, just kind of at your convenience, at your schedule works best for me. And I've had a couple guys over this past couple weeks. They've come out for 3-4 days in a row and, gotten their first flights in. And but I charge, $1,900 right now for, a lifetime of instruction as well too, So I've got some guys, after 5 to 10 flights, they're ready to go on their own. And I've got others that have come back for, numerous flights and, still keep coming back. So it's,
right.
It's been a great experience and, learning a lot and, over the years with paragliding and powered paragliding combined. And I absolutely love teaching people. It's such a joy to share this wonderful sport with people and to see the light come on in their eyes too.
It's rewarding. Yeah,
it is. It really is. It really is rewarding. And I absolutely love it. So
that's awesome.
Share your passion.
We have Hot Buttered Steve a little while back. He made a $10 donation in the super chat. And he says, "Hey, Dave, little Richard called. He wants his shirt back." What does that mean? I don't get it. John, do you get that? But I don't get it. Hot Buttered Steve, you're going to have to explain that one. But thank you for the donation.
You might have to tilt your screen down a little like this.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the problem. There you go.
I got so much going on here. Shut up, Todd. I got my Shut Up, Todd shirt on today.
Now
Supporting
you got it.
Resurgence PPG. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate it. We had some other stuff here, too. Where is it here? Let's see. Oh,
Michael.
Hot Butter Steve also says, question for John. Can I crash at your place for $75 a month?
75 a month? Sure. Yeah, what a deal.
Right. All right. Mark Rogers says he's speaking my language. I'm electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Okay.
Michael Scotty say John trained me in 2018. Thanks, John.
There it is.
Certainly. Thank you.
There you go. All right. Very
Good.
cool. Let's get back to those pictures real quick. Let's see where I left off here. So this is a zoomed in picture. What are we looking at here? This is the only one. It was like an overhead shot looking down almost towards the fuel tank, and it looks like there's a little orange thing sticking out. Do you remember that picture?
I think that was probably just showing the top of the air box, probably just showing the Viper air box and looking down. Yeah, I don't really recall. I know the picture you're talking about.
Okay.
But I think we've already covered all that as well.
All right,
too.
One last picture, and this is just the one facing it with the orange frame. Did you want to show up what you had? You showed me earlier today with that orange frame.
Yeah, I think I would show that a little while ago as well too. The orange, that's one of the orange, Viterazzi orange. I think that's going to be my standard color. I'll plan on having at least 3 or 4 of these units in stock at all times for people that don't want to do custom. Because for a custom order on these frames, we're looking about 4 to 5 weeks from the time you make your payment for me to send it to anodizing, for manufacturing, to assemble it and everything else. But I'm going to have at least 3 to 4 units at all times ready to go. There are 2 separate frames. I have hole patterns for Moster and hole patterns for Atom 80s as well too. So it's 2 completely separate frames. I don't really like using adapter plates or anything on the back. I want to keep the engine as close to your back as possible. It just gives you a better feeling, than having an extra, spacers or adapter plates. One thing we've also done lately is on our original units, it was like 23 degrees coming off of the frame. And the problem with that is when you go further back and have your spars coming further back, it can, when you do powered forwards or whatever, it can cause, the bars to get pulled down, the hoop to get pulled down some, and it causes, weaker strength overall on the hoop. So we went and changed that to 16 degrees, brought that in a good bit. And what's caused the hoop to be much more rigid. And also it's eliminated the need for having a prop spacer as well too, where if you have it further out, we had to use about 1.25 inch prop spacer here. So that's also eliminated the need for that. Also gives it a much sleeker side profile as well too, and much more rigid frame. So it's a really solid unit. I've been putting my students on these for the past 2 years, and man, they've gone through every type of, not sitting down, or not sitting in the front, sitting in the seat way too early, doing the classic butt drag, or not getting out of the harness when they come in to land, and then basically just hitting hard on the ground. I've had guys land out in the cotton fields, you name it, basically student abuse on the units. And I've never had to replace a set of the legs. One thing we have done is instead of having a straight leg on the frames, we have a curvature on the legs to give it more of like a shape of like a human foot. So it's perfectly rounded all the way around. So any impact zone, there's really not a solid impact zone that's going to be affected. So that's proven to be a very solid design feature. And I don't know anybody else that's really doing that either. So and that's been
I thought that was really, really cool. I do appreciate. I got to give applause to the chat, because I see people answering other people's questions, which is great. Thank you for paying attention, and thanks for asking the questions if you don't know. But that's awesome. Shout out to Bill H. And a couple other people answered questions too. Mark Rogers had a question. He said, "Can we see the side profile for the angles he's talking about?"
Yeah, sure. Let me see if we can. Let's see if we can do that.
What a great show. Great show.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. I want to show, while you look for that, I'm going to show you this other video, okay?
Okay.
So let's show this other video.
What do you think about it, man?
Some of that landed at bad apple.
Yeah, power band on it, super smooth.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, I was expecting some sort of step up to it, but no, it's just gradual the whole way.
Yeah, remarkable in that regards. Yeah. How did the frame feel on your back?
Feels good. Feels good.
Cool, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I could adjust the harness to fit me a little better, but other than that, dude, yeah.
Excellent.
For just hopping in the machine and striking out, I liked it.
Cool. Good.
Very good. All right. So, do you know who that was? I didn't recognize that pilot.
I think that's Robert Woodall, Wing It Woody, they call him, I think.
Okay.
Good guy.
Okay. So, what do you got there?
That's just a side profile that he was asking. That's about the best I can do right now.
Okay.
That side profile.
Like
That's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah.
How long does it take to build one? If I ordered one and maybe it wasn't in stock, that you didn't have everything, but you had everything, just needed to build it, how long does it take to build it?
If I had everything needed to build, about, I can get it done in a day. Man, the hoop. The hoop is the most time-consuming part of it all, because I have to roll the tubes, then cut them into sections, then go and measure with the tape measure where each hole goes, then go in with the drill press, drill those out, and then feed the netting through the holes, and then rivet. One thing I was doing manual rivets for the first year and a half, and man, that was my hand. I got muscles in my hand now from just squeezing that thing all the time. And then I finally went and bought a Milwaukee, 12-volt rivet, electric rivet gun, and that made all the difference in the world. But typically, I can do one unit in a solid day if I have everything laid out right in front of me, ready to go. So yeah.
I had earlier. I saw that there was a comment from our friend Walter. I don't receive stickers in the mail, priori, and he said, "Great conversation from Australia. Under $7,000, great price, light unit." So there
nice.
You go from him.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, we're doing the retail on with the units complete with the Viper 200 is going to be at $5,700. Like I said, I've got the first two of those that'll go for $5,300. Whoever wants them can reach out to me on Facebook, or at True North Paramotors on Facebook would be the best way to contact me, or Louisiana Powered Paragliding on Facebook. And then with the Moster 185, they're going to be $6,495, and with the Atom 80, $6,195. All
right.
And that's with the SLT and with the Helix prop on there. So
cool.
Yeah.
So before we talk about the school, let's kind of end this part of the interview, because oh my gosh, John, it's almost been an hour already. Holy cow, are you kidding me? Let's talk about a conversation that you had with a guest of ours just from a couple weeks ago out in Italy.
Oh
And
yeah.
tell us about that guest, who it was, what you were doing there, and what he said to you.
Well, in 2018, I was working for 3 years. I was working as operations manager at a company called Skyrunner. They made a flying dune buggy, and so I was working for them. And I was also really getting into really teaching paramotors at the time. So I wanted to go to Italy and take Viterazzi, who had a master mechanics class over there for the Moster, and the Atom had just been released. So I went over to Italy to Fermo, where Viterazzi has their field, and took a class there, for the Moster and the Atom, and basic maintenance class on that. And man, those guys were just so hospitable. I couldn't believe, man. They gave me a ride everywhere I needed to go. And day after the class, I toured the Viterazzi factory and went to lunch with Matteo and Luca, the sales manager at the time. And we went back to the office of Viterazzi's office at the factory. And Matteo and Luca and I were sitting around, and Matteo was asking me about the United States market for paramotors and what all was happening. And he was like, man, if you could make a unit, a frame that was lightweight, that was about 500 euros below what the competition sells them for, you would really have a really nice market over in the United States. And I said, aren't you in aircraft manufacturing? I said, yeah, I am in aircraft manufacturing, man. I deal with the FAA, with the designated airworthiness representative, quality control. I fly these things. I was like, man, that might be a really good market for you over there. I was like, thought about it for about a month or two, and within about 3 to 4 months of that, turned out the first frame. And he really inspired me, man. It was kind of like a light bulb moment. And what a great guy, man. That guy's passion for what he does is just unparalleled, man. I was riding in the back car going to lunch with him one day, and you could just see his eyes, man. It's like, this guy, he is driven. Thank God he's in paramotors, man. And, he's found his place, because he's definitely heck of a guy, man.
Pretty awesome. What a great pat on the back for you too. That's awesome. All right, let's talk about the school. There was a question, and this may be a personal question from Travis DuPont. He says, how many more instructional flights does my old lady need? Okay,
I've been
personal question.
With Travis and his daughter and his wife. I both got them trained them this past spring and this summer as well too. Man, Travis, I think she got a couple more, man, and she'll be ready to go on her own.
There you go.
Let's at least get a couple more in there for sure. So they've been doing absolutely great. It was so great. His daughter, Travis's daughter, she was 17, just about to turn 18. And she said, I want to get my first flight in before my 18th birthday. And we made it happen just a couple days short of that. So
nice.
Just a few days before that, rather. So it worked out perfectly. So they're absolutely great students and a pleasure to work with. So
very cool. All right. My first question is, how the hell do you have any time at all with what you're doing to still teach students?
Find time. You find time, So, still, I'll take off in the afternoon. That's another thing too. Like, I really don't, like what you're saying, just somebody come down and train with me. I really, I go out to the field about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, work with students for about 4 hours in the day. And that's really about what I'm limited to right now. Get up early, go to the shop, about 8, 9, be there before 8, 9 at the latest, and, put in 5, 6 hours there, and then go out and teach in the fields in the afternoon. And, I have a feeling that's all about to change because I'm starting to get more orders in for these units. And, but, for the time being, hey, teaching is still my love and what I love to do. And, I definitely plan on still teaching and still manufacturing paramotors for as long as I possibly can. So I'm not going anywhere. Man, this is what I love to do. This is my true north. That's why I called it True North Paramotors, man. Right. This is my passion, man. So yeah.
Outside of anything different from your USPPA certified, so anything outside of a regular USPPA certified instructional course that you feel like it differentiates you from anybody else?
I just take my time with students, man. I mean, a lot of instructors do, but I definitely, take my time and move when they're comfortable, when they're ready. Not pushing anybody to do anything that I'm, you can get a feel for people, if they're, their vibe that they're throwing off, if they're not ready. And, one thing I'll do, if somebody blows a launch, I typically, we'll do three blow, and then that's it for the day. After 3, because then you find out after 3 that fourth, fifth, sixth one, that's when the equipment starts getting damaged, or they get,
Yeah.
or they might twist an ankle or something like that, or, step in a pothole, who knows? But yeah, that's been really it. And just, being real patient, super patient with people, and, moving at their pace. But other than that, I mean, I follow the USPPA syllabus, and, just try to bring my 20 years of experience and teach people. One thing I definitely teach people is read wins aloft, wins aloft, wins aloft, man. That's been the number one thing I found over the years that, some guys really don't stress to their students enough is, making sure what those winds are doing at 2,000, 1,000, all the way up to 4,000 or 5,000 feet at least, because, man, there's nothing that'll turn someone off from the sport or, result in serious injury than not paying attention to those numbers. So, yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, listen, I'll give you a second to think about any last words you want to say before we tune out for the night. We will do an after show. John said he'll stick around for a little bit for that. So if you want to jump in and say hello and introduce yourself, you're more than welcome to. We'll get that Zoom code up here in just a few moments. In the meantime, I'm going to go over to the wheel. Let's see how this thing looks. Not too bad. It's kind of blurry, but we'll play with it. We'll make it work for tonight. So on the Zoom, we got everybody's names in there. You can see all the prizes that we have listed. Tell you what, the first prize we'll do will be something that you can choose from this list. You just have to send me a message on Facebook Messenger or to my email, davidwolf51@gmail.com, which is going to be coming across the bottom of your screen here in just a second. And let me know what you'd like, and we'll get it out to you. And then the second thing we'll spin for is a T-shirt from John. So let's start off with the first one. Here we go. We're going to spin the wheel. We're going to try to spin the wheel. Let's see if it works. Oh, look, it's working. How cool. Ripa, it's working. All right. Now, Ripa can't actually... Oh, you can't see the screen. All right. But Ripa, don't announce or don't start typing the winner this time because there's a delay, right? All right. All right, let's see who it is. It's slowing down, and it also takes that dramatic pause. So right now it's on Sean Nasker, Hot Buttered Steve. Oh, please don't go to Walter. Oh, gosh.
Stop.
Oh, no, not on Walter. Please don't. No, Walter Perori. Ah! No, Walter. Oh, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg to send it to Australia. All right, well, shoot. Walter, you look through that list there, buddy. You let me know what you want. You'll never receive. I swear to God, as God is my witness, 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, I sent him stickers, and he's saying he still hasn't received them yet. Son of a gun. All right, Walter. You're the man, buddy. All right.
God bless Walter.
God bless him. That's right. I was pulling for Sean Nasker. I really was. All right. Let's go ahead and spin it a second time. So, John, do you want to?
Right?
Yeah, John's shirt. John, do you want to hold him? Unless, John, you want to send him that shirt to Australia. No, I'll send it to.
That's a cool shirt.
That's great. Oh, yeah, let me go back to John here. John's hold it up one more second, John. Hold it up one more second there. That's so funny. Gosh darn it. There it is. That's a very cool shirt. I love the logo, too. Very
That's
cool.
$50 to send it to Australia, I'm sure.
Gosh, you ain't kidding. I should know. All right, back over to the wheel. We're not looking at the prizes anymore on the right at this point. We're just looking at the names to see who wins. Walter, if you win, I didn't take your name off the wheel, but we'll spin it again. So here you go. But Walter, you have 24 hours to claim your prize. If you don't claim your prize in 24 hours, the heck with you, sir.
Maybe John can deliver it to Walter in Australia.
Yeah, he travels a lot. I don't see Walter claiming it, the prize on the chat yet either.
He fell asleep.
He fell asleep. He passed out.
I'll drop it off in Alice Springs.
There you go. All right, let's see. It looks like Tristan, maybe? Tristan, it's getting the Jim CR120. Oh, it's Tristan Dione. Dione. Wow, that's a heck of a fanfare there, John Ripa, isn't that?
That's one of his students, I think.
Is that one of your students?
No.
All right.
I spoke to him, but I think he's in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Tristan. That's fantastic. Walter, God bless you. Walter says, spin it again, give it to someone in Australia. Spin again, give it to. I think he's saying to spin it again. Is that how you read that, John Ripa?
No, I read he wants you to send it to someone else
I
in Australia.
think Walter needs to clarify. Walter, do you want me to give it away? Give it to somebody else? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please yes. We'll wait for Walter to respond to that. In the meantime, Tristan, John, how should Tristan reach out to you or with his information?
Just tell him to message me at True North Paramotors on Facebook will be fine.
There you go. Tristan Dion. He's correcting me. Tristan
Perfect.
Dion.
I'll get it out. I'll mail it out to him tomorrow.
For years and years, I was Wolfie. Hey, Wolfie. No, it's the E silent, so I get it. I apologize, Dion. All right. So, Walter, I think Walter says, spin again, give it to someone in Australia. So, John, you're messing with me, but I believe Walter would like us to spin it again and give it away. Is that how you're reading that?
No.
Why are you being like that? I'm not asking you, Rip. I'm asking John Hudson how he reads it.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I didn't like Ripa's answer, so I'm going to yours and see if you got a better answer.
I don't know. Yeah, are we spinning it again? What are we doing?
All right. Well, Tristan won the T-shirt from you. I'm waiting to see if Walter gives me any.
Spin it again, and then we'll just we'll figure it out.
You know what? We'll spin it again. We'll spin it again, and yeah, let's do that. We're gonna spin it one more time. So whoever wins this one, take a look at the prizes there on the right side of your screen, and you shall win whatever you choose. Just send me a message.
Sean Simon says this.
Oh, Walter says in the USA. So, yes, that's what he meant, not Australia. So, thank you, Walter. God bless you, sir. I know Sean Simons, yes, is sending a care package to Walter with a lot of gifts.
Congrats, All
right, here we go. Josh Perry. Nope, it's going to pass.
Mark Amundsen.
Mark Amundsen. Maybe getting Mark Amundsen. Maybe. Mark Amundsen. Ta-da! Congratulations, Mark Amundsen. If you're still watching, send a message to me and let me know which of those prizes you'd like. There you go, Mark Amundsen. We got to get Mark back on the show. He was on, but it was a quick episode. I think he was busy teaching. We got to get Mark back on. John Hudson.
Yes.
Last words. Any last thoughts for tonight?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. If anybody's looking for a lightweight, fully customizable, cutting-edge paramotor, check us out, True North Paramotors on Facebook or AmericanMadeParamotors.com. My web guy is camping out in West Virginia right now, and he's going to update all the new pictures on it. He's supposed to do it earlier this week, but it's going to get done in the next couple of days. So check out the website in the next couple of days. It'll have updated pictures. Nice. Also, if anybody wants one of these units at $5,300 with the Viper 200, get in touch with me on True North Paramotors on Facebook or True North Paramotors at protonmail.com. Check out Louisiana Powered Paragliding. And if anybody's got any other questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
Thank you for also being a sponsor of our Paramotor Nation. John Ripa, last words.
I can't wait to fly with John one day. It sounds like a very, very interesting guy with lots of great stories.
Yeah.
Cool. You in South Florida, John?
Yes, sir. East Coast.
Okay.
Now, cool. Are you gonna be at Moonshiners?
I'm not going to Moonshiner. I'm not planning on it. I'm not saying I'm not. I might make it up there. I'm definitely going to be at EFD. Yeah. And that's really all I have planned as far as flying go for the foreseeable future. And, of course, you guys come down and join us at Naylor Airport in Shreveport, Louisiana, October 9th and 10th. We'll have more on that at the PPG zone and also on the True North Paramotors page and Louisiana Power Paragliding page in the coming weeks. Awesome. So stay tuned for that.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you, John. Have a good night, everybody. Next week, happy 4th of July. I'm going to have a playback, so if you feel like coming in and just chatting with some people, I'll have an old episode on. I was thinking maybe doing the Tucker God episode that we did a long, long time ago. And other than that, have a great 4th. God bless y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you.